Hi everyone, this is Marianne here from Revealing Light, Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. How are we all today? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. Normally I plan my astrology readings, but I just on a whim decided to take a look at the full moon in Aries chart. I've cast it over Washington, but really I'm more looking at where the planets and the conjunctions and the aspects. So literally, if we look at those things, you can apply wherever you are in the world some of this to you. So let's have a look at this chart. I guess I got what can I say? I started to look at the full moon conjunct Chiron to begin with. And then I looked at what it was opposite to, the Sun and Venus in Libra. And it started a line of thought around why we are really struggling to bring Trump to justice. And if we look at what we've allowed Vladimir Putin to do in Ukraine, and then you look at the illusions that people are under where they think that one or both of these men are heroes, it kind of stops you in your tracks, doesn't it? And so there's some lessons there for us. What are the wounds in us that need healing? I am actually of a positive mindset or an optimistic mindset. And I feel that these crises that we are seeing in the world right now are actually trigger points to a greater healing in the world, or in ourselves, in humanity, in the world today. Call me a dreamer, but I see at a very deep level that there was the need to heal these great wounds within us, sometimes overlaid by lifetimes of resistance and fixed beliefs. And so it's sort of like chiseling through a mountain to get to it. But in a way, because both Trump and Putin are part of humanity, they represent part of the collective that actually does need healing. And so we go back to what they represent, and you'll see that emerge in, if not in yourself, perhaps people you know, not to that extreme, but some of those same traits. Your next door neighbor, who is a Trumpian for the life of me, or of you, you can't understand why he still supports, or she still supports Trump. And indeed looks at Putin, the war criminal, the murderer of children, the invader of countries, the brutal maniac, maniacal person we know him to be, the cruel and cold and calculating murderer. And yet you still have people seeing that he is a hero. What is that wound that needs healing? Let's take a look at the chart, and I just really want to concentrate on a couple of aspects here before we start to get into reading some cards on current events. So this chart is cast over Washington. However, as I said, we're just looking at the planets, the conjunctions and the aspects, and it doesn't matter where you cast a chart in the world, you will still see those same conjunctions and aspects. It's just the houses that will change. So in this chart in Washington, we have the pattern that really interests me, and that is the full moon conjunct Chiron in Aries. Now, this is a bit of an anomaly here because, as we know, as I've said before, full moons bring forward endings, culminations, and yet Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, which is the beginning of everything. So there is this ending of cycles and the beginning of something new. However, Chiron being the wounded healer, some people think that that means that a wound is going to appear. I don't see Chiron like that at all. I see Chiron, and I think rightly so, as a very powerful healer. And so conjunct the moon being really our soul, our karma, very much associated with, at the earthly level, our emotions, but also the feminine. And so, as I said, taking the location away from this, if you're in Iran, the moon is conjunct Chiron. And so we see what is happening there, the wound, the healing, even though it is in a backdrop of bloodshed and murdering of the regime, taking activists prisoner and killing them for expressing their beliefs. Iran, of course, was Persia. And so taking the religious fundamental way of being, taking that out of the equation, you have very strong women wanting to come back into their own, to heal the wound that the fundamentalist religious leaders have put on them. Why have they done that? That is part of their karma, their journey, and of course, their wound. Here in Washington, of course, the fourth house is home and security. And so we see the extremism of the United States has taken the country, and it will do in any other Western democracy where it becomes extreme and deluded. You'll see that the security of the country is threatened. The way that we live our lives are threatened. Females are threatened. You see that happening in the US. So this karmic healing almost has been playing out in my mind for the last couple of years since we've had these massive changes, the pandemic. Remember January, I think I did that reading in 2020. I said something big was coming with that Plutonian energy. So if we look at Chiron and the moon here, we also see that Jupiter is in Aries as well. So an expansion of the healing, an expansion of that karmic cycle, the healing of the collective, but also the healing of the individual. And I would say, if you are anything like me, you have the potential for great healing in your lives. Whatever your insurmountable, supposedly unsolvable problem is in your life, whatever area that falls into, you are being given an opportunity to heal that at a very deep karmic level. So changing those fixed beliefs. Now, if we travel on up, Jupiter expanding all that healing, if we travel on up to, again, I said before, in its simplest version, because I know a lot of you aren't astrologers, or you're not familiar with charts. Red lines are oppositions and squares. They're the tensions, the conflicts, but also the source of our greatest achievements. The blue lines are the sextiles, and the trines, the harmonious patterns, the harmonious flow of things where we get a little bit of extra help. But just taking on Chiron and the moon, conjunct the moon in Aries, the identity, who we are, the initiator, the one that goes out and finds a new way, the fire energy, the driven energy, is opposite the Sun and Venus in Libra. Where in Washington is this falling? It's falling in the 10th house. Their politics, their government. For others around the world, again, houses out of the equation, justice, the earth, justice for the earth. So again, I keep saying, if you're exhausted from all of this, rightly so, there is a tremendous amount of healing and change that is going on at this time. And we're hearing about it. We're having to confront our higher ideals. In this chart over Washington, Pluto in Capricorn is in the 1st house. And it is squaring, a hard square with Eris. Remember the warrior princess, the warrior goddess that slays the enemies. So that theme of justice in Washington, healing of the security of the home, the country, is predominant at this full moon time. So something is culminating, something is coming to an end. And of course, after that, we have that initiation, that new beginning. So Mars in Gemini, I want to go over here in this Washington chart. Mars in Gemini, communications. So much of the justice that we're seeing in bringing the former president and his coup plotters, seditious, those that were seditious. So much of what we're seeing is coming out in electronic communication. The former president and the documents that were seized from Mar-a-Lago, the top secret documents, incriminating documents. Now we know Mueller documents. So much of that is electronic records. And of course, Mars in Gemini squaring Mercury, the planet of communication in Virgo, still in Virgo. We're seeing the details of the crimes that were potentially committed. And there is this beautiful blue line trine between Mercury and Pluto in Capricorn. And so we're getting some assistance here. We're able to put the pieces of the puzzle together through the evidence that is being collected, and that is being communicated to the masses. So we still have, remember the illusion, delusion, Neptune in Pisces. And that, of course, is again what needs to be healed. And that is in opposition to Mercury in Virgo. So much is being misconstrued. So much is being read that, you know, I talked about a mass psychosis where the facts are ignored and something is grabbed onto that what fits the wound in the identity. So coming back to the moon conjunct Chiron, whatever your problem is, whatever that thorny part of your life is, you know, maybe you're overbearing with a relative. Maybe you didn't handle something correctly. Maybe you're estranged from somebody. Maybe you have an unaligned relationship with yourself, whatever that wound is. Maybe you argue with somebody. You're being given a chance to reset fixed beliefs. So that was rather an esoteric kind of look at the full moon in Aries, but it has tremendous healing of what? Tremendous healing of the past, tremendous healing of the wounds of the past, tremendous healing of our karmic wounds for the individual and for the collective. So I'm optimistic that when we are being given so much help to see what needs to be healed, I can just project that to the future and have faith in humanity that it will solve, it will heal the wounds that it needs to heal. And right now in this world, it is extremism and, of course, the invasion of Ukraine. All right, so in the spirit of October, I'm going to use my Witches Tarot. There are many Witches Tarot, but it's this one. It has the two 10 of Swords there. One is ruination and the other is actually freedom and moving on from ruination. So it'll be interesting to see if they come up. All right, let's take some questions here. Of course, over the weekend, Putin's bridge, Putin's symbol of invading and taking and stealing Crimea. He built that huge bridge which was blown up. I know you want to know, was Ukraine responsible? Of course, Ukraine rejoiced that the bridge, such a symbol of Putin's theft, was partially destroyed. It's also the way Russia sends its logistics to its troops in southeastern Ukraine. Let's see, you want to know, did Ukraine do it? If they did, if they did, it would only be a small modicum of retribution for the evil that's been perpetrated on them. Okay, let's see, Ukraine. Did Ukraine blow up that bridge? I'm feeling more, it was more a mercenary. Well, there's death there. Ending of something. Ending of something. And the 9 of Wands, ending of the bridge, if you like, the barrier, taking the barrier down, putting guardrails up. Justice, Venus conjunct Libra, justice, balancing the scales. I'm feeling it was more mercenaries fighting for Ukraine that did this. Whether they're formally attached to Ukraine or not, I don't know. The sun in the past, full illumination. As I said, I'm confident that what is right will be actualized. In other words, Ukraine will be victorious, but they have always paid a high price. In the sky was the 2 of Swords. Of course, there were civilian bombings in retribution here in Ukraine, in Zaporizhia. Russia bombed a civilian apartment block. I think there were 17 people that died. Everything is fine in the immediate future. There's our 10 of Swords. Everything is fine. Remember, I said there were 2. Okay, it was a huge gamble for Ukraine. I think, yes, Ukraine did this, whether they were at arm's length from it or not. It was a huge risk, they knew. But we get everything is fine in the immediate future. The Knight of Cups, suggesting that in the here and now, suggesting that some kind of peace deal might even be on offer. The Finnish Prime Minister, when asked what is Putin's off-ramp, said his off-ramp is to leave Ukraine. It's that simple. 9 of Pentacles, the support that Ukraine is being given. We are healing. We don't want our world to be dominated by blackmailers, murderers, thieves. We're healing again that part of us, the collective, that allowed this to occur. The Page of Swords, spies in the camp. This could have even been Ukrainian sympathizers within Russia. Page of Pentacles, suggesting, yes, it was Ukraine, whether they were at arm's length or not. Page of Pentacles, moving forward. And a new start. And a new start. And we've got our major arcana, moderation again. So much healing, temperance, so much healing that is occurring at this time, even though it's scaring the living daylights out of most of us. It had to happen. And I want to say also the critics of Biden who say, how could this have happened under his watch? Well, I say, if this wasn't Biden's way and strategy of handling this, leading his leadership with the allies to fund Ukraine, to fight for their land, and while doing that, push back a murderous, blackmailing blight on humanity. Again, that part of ourselves that we let the collective I'm talking about, that we let rise. If it wasn't for that, we could all have either been fighting in a world war or worse still. So at the base of the pack, we've got the heartbreak. Why are Ukrainians rejoicing? Because Crimea was stolen from them. Their homeland was stolen. The Emperor and the Page of Wands, control and a new plan. Okay, so we've got this energy of culminations that have been a long time coming. It's an underlay, really. The overlay, of course, is that conjunct full moon in Aries, conjunct Chiron, that healing that is being simultaneously taking place at the individual level as well. It's all about healing wounds and karmic wounds at that. Ancestral wounds, long-standing wounds. All right, let's then move to the former president, stolen documents. Of course, again, this flagrant breach, abuse of the law, taking top secret documents. We're now told that some of those are regarding the Mueller investigation. Remember, Mueller said, I have the evidence to charge him with obstruction of justice. And some of these documents relate to the Mueller investigation. Apparently, Trump took these in return to one day perhaps leveraging blackmailing. Now, at the time of my first reading, I said it related to something in his presidency. I said could even be the Mueller report. I also felt Ukraine around the blackmailing of Zelensky. Let's see if that's yet to emerge as well. He took them for many reasons. To blackmail, to leverage, and also potentially to sell. Now, apparently the FBI has asked him, are there documents in Bedminster or Trump Tower? I've read on that as well. I felt they're in Bedminster. I felt with relatives. Okay, so nuclear secrets. Is this what Kushner gave to the Saudis after Congress said no, that American nuclear technology could not be given to Saudi Arabia? All right, let's see. Let's go back to these documents. Let's go back to these documents because there is something else I want to get to. And that is the trials of the Oath Keepers. All right, so the documents, these stolen documents, boxes of which still aren't recovered. Are these in Bedminster? Are these stolen documents in Bedminster? Knight of Swords, the truth emerging. Again, We're being given help. You can describe that as aliens. I like to say it's a divine cosmic type of energy. We are being given help by the universe, the stars, to get to the truth, to bring about this healing. So how do you heal? You heal when the truth emerges, when it gets through your fixed beliefs. So I wager there would be those that are waking up from this kind of delusion around Trump. More and more would be waking up. The Knight of Swords and the Two of Wands, something coming to fruition in time, the truth emerging in time. Now, I did say I thought Trump would be indicted before the election. I don't know whether that was Letitia James, the Attorney General in New York, proceeding, saying there was evidence now to take forward her actions, civil actions against the Trump organization. We also have the Trump organization trial in Manhattan coming up in October. I don't know whether I saw that or whether I'm still seeing that his crimes are of such a magnitude that an indictment has to come forward regardless. We'll see. The Empress, Russia. His crimes are of such a magnitude that they come forward regardless. Now, that's also the Mother card, the feminine energy card, the card of abundance. Tower is in the past. So yes, I've already read there are documents at Bedminster, more than likely with Kushner and his daughter. The Tower card is in the past for him. In a way, the die is already cast. The future is already written for him. He will be prosecuted on this matter. The Tower. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. He will be put under some kind of, whether it's a specially built jail or something. So if you want to say, is he going to prison? Yes, it's a prison of some sort that ex-presidents go to. This is unprecedented, of course. The Four of Wands, the home in the sky. Where did he hide them? His home, his family. The Eight of Swords, restriction and worry in the immediate future. He is worried about it. He knows the Rubicon has been crossed. The Three of Wands, overseas and foreign influences. Remember, the magnitude of what has occurred is so big that nothing will help him defend himself. This is foreign, selling secrets to foreigners, most likely to Russia and the Saudis. Queen of Coins, national security in the hopes and fears. The outcome is the Magician. At Bedminster, yes, there are documents. That's a yes card. The presidential documents, the Emperor card. These are major arcanas, and the Ace of Wands, a plan and a new start. Remember the wound, the full moon, and Chiron in Aries. So the outcome cards are in his home. That's what's crowning the reading. Magician, the Emperor, and the Ace of Wands. He wanted to control. He wanted the control, so he had this plan for the future. Taking those documents had everything to do with his future, whether it was to try and blackmail the government or whether it was financial security. It was all about the future. Okay, let's see if he hid them in Trump Tower. I'm not sure about that. I think they're at Bedminster. Now, I know you're going to say, was it buried with Ivanka? his wife, ex-wife? Possibly. Is it with Kushner? They live there. They have a house there too. But it definitely is at Bedminster, according to these cards. All right. Are these documents at Trump Tower? I feel he's less likely to do that because New York is not his friend. He's under investigation there. But let's see. Are these documents? I don't think I've asked this. If I have, I haven't given it much time. So are these documents at Trump Tower? The Three of Coins spread out, perhaps with other people he works with, justice. Also the wheels of justice turning. The sun and Venus in Libra. The Four of Coins holding on to something that isn't his. Isn't that a great card? So this is the legacy of the Divine Tarot deck for those that want to know. His workplace. Let's see what's in the sky. Two of Coins, decisions around money. The Seven of Coins. It didn't really go well for him, did it? It won't go well for him. He's facing he's hemorrhaging money. He's facing huge money issues. The Page of Swords, the gossip, the law, I guess, spurious type of information. It's also the spy in the camp. That's a younger person. What's surrounding it? His children. It's interesting. Three. There's a lot of threes here in relation to New York. Five of Wands in the hopes and fears. And the outcome is the Ace of Swords, the truth emerging. Okay, so it could be the Queen of Wands, a female, and the Ace of Coins. I feel that they're not obviously in Trump Tower, but they could be somewhere amongst his allies, and that this truth will emerge. I mean, these two aces, this is saying that there is something to do with New York and in relation to these documents. The Ten of Cups family. So given to his family members. They will go down. They will go down with, okay. They may not be at Trump Tower in New York, but they may be at the Kushner residence in New York. Okay, now I want to move on to the sedition. The trial of the Oath Keepers, Stewart, Rhodes. Not so much, yes, there will be a lot emerging from that trial, but one of his lieutenants has flipped and has agreed to provide the DOJ with evidence. At the time of the eclipse on October the 25th, I think it is, the solar eclipse, I feel there's a major piece of evidence to emerge. Now, what is that? The major evidence from this informer now, Oathkeeper turned informer, would have to be on the call that the White House made at the time of the attempted coup, and the pipe bomber, the identity of the pipe bomber. So let's take a look. Will this Oathkeeper that has flipped reveal the identity of the pipe bomber? Will the Oathkeeper who has flipped reveal the identity of the Oathkeeper? Now, I've got a really strange image here. It's the Kennedy assassination, and it is the Secret Service people that climbed onto the back of the car. Okay, that's the clairvoyant image. The Emperor, the President. The President. The other signifier card is the Strength card. The strength of the president, the Eight of Swords, restriction, paranoia, the strength of the president and the restriction. The Six of Wands in the past, victory, the election, the High Priestess, secrets coming out. What's crowning this reading is secrets being revealed. Ooh. The Lovers, he has much to tell, not only about the president, but also about those around him, the Lovers card. The Ace of Wands in the here and now, the planning, the pipe bomber I talked about. This pipe bomber was someone that, a member of Trump's cult. This is somebody that absolutely thought he should be president, that he won. The King of Cups in the environment around. So here we have the new start. The Biden presidency was the new start. The Ace of Cups in the hopes and fears, the overflowing of emotions. We feel the same thing could happen again. The Page of Coins is the outcome card. A younger person, likely a female. The Sun, full revealing, full revelations. He is going to bring forward, and the Three of Wands, also some kind of foreign connection here. This oath keeper, this turned informant, is going to reveal the identity of the pipe bomber. The Star, there is always hope when Chiron is around, because Chiron heals. Let's see if he will reveal the link to the White House. So I think what drops toward the end of October is possibly a charge for the bomb, the pipe bomber, an indictment there, or the identity revealed in some way. All right, the DOJ is getting very, very close. That's a question we'll ask. All right, so let's take a look at the identity of the person in the White House. Let's have a look at, will this oath keeper turned informant reveal the connection to Trump himself? The connection to Trump himself. King of Wands and the Tower. King of Wands and the Tower. So that's the January 6th. There's something around could even be lawmakers are involved here. The Congress, someone in Congress is involved here. Perhaps many are involved here. Lawmakers are involved in this insurrection. He will bring forward also that proof. Let's see, will he reveal? Will he connect Trump to the oath keepers, those that led the sedition? Will he connect Trump to the oath keepers? So we have the Ace of Coins. Let's see, another ace. It's another yes. The Empress card. I feel that there was foreign funding. I've always said that there's foreign funding here. The Four of Coins. Oh, it's going back to those stolen documents. What else is in the stolen documents? Some kind of tie here for this to emerge in this reading. Some kind of tie to January the 6th. The Seven of Coins, a new plan. In the sky, we've got moderation, that healing occurring, the balancing of the scales. He is going to reveal, that's the outcome, the Page of Cups and the Two of Swords. He has decisions to make, he's made them. And we have the Queen of Wands emerging yet again. So we have here the Two of Coins, the Two of Cups. I asked, would he, a decision, a commitment, a contract, the Emperor and the Devil. And an inevitability. Look at this major arcana. Judgment card. It's inevitable that they tie Trump. His information ties Trump to the Oath Keepers. That's all I've got today. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, look at where that fixed belief is that needs a reset. It's hard to do. It's what life is all about. It culminates in our passing, in our death, when we let go of this earthly body. It's all about letting go of fixed beliefs and allowing the healing to come through at a very individual level, despite what we see going on in the world. It's karmic what is going on in the world. All right, bye for now. I'll see you again soon.